What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Throttle YouTube channel. My name is Quinn, and we have a heavy Supra episode for you guys today. We wanted to get serious about racing this car this year, so we are going big with Sunoco. We run Sunoco in every single car, you guys know that. From our Supra to our Viper, our Eclipse, the Freak, whatever we're running, we got Sunoco in the tank. And it's no different for the Supra. So you guys thought this build was complete. It is not. We had this car at a racetrack recently doing some testing, kind of feeling out the car. We found a lot of things we really like about this car. We found a few things that we didn't. The main one we're gonna be getting into today is the V160 transmission. It is an incredible transmission. It has really great potential, but it does have its limits. So we're gonna be getting it out of this car, and we're actually gonna be putting a 6XD full sequential transmission in.
Jesus Christ.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
This is gonna allow the thing to shift a lot faster. It's gonna allow it to shift better. You're gonna have wide open shifts under boost, which is really cool, and it's gonna allow us to utilize a lot more on our Haltech ECU, such as boost by gear. We have to configure things like the two-step. It's gonna be a much better transmission overall for this car because we can change the gearing. There's so much stuff we can get into on the 6XD sequential. It's gonna be really cool. So we're gonna get the V160 out today, and when the new sequential transmission shows up, we're gonna unbox it and go through it and kind of look at it. I think it's gonna look beautiful. I'm very excited for it to get here, but for now, let's get this thing out of the car.
Oh man, this is like a sewer pipe under here. Holy cow.
This thing looks really nice.
Is this your first time seeing it like under
the car? Yeah, under the car it is, yeah.
Okay, so our work ended here, right?
Yeah, so we had a little jumper that went from 4 down to 3 to the gritty flange that went back.
So yeah, MagnaFlow actually removed the old system that was on here because in search of power, we needed to open up the exhaust from 80 millimeters to 100 plus millimeters or 4-inch. Wow. This looks sick.
It looks wicked. It looks really nice. So when we built this car initially, we had a Greddy catback exhaust on, which is an awesome, amazing exhaust. However, we went ahead and stuffed a massive G-Series Garrett turbo, and the 3-inch just wasn't enough. So we dropped the car off at MagnaFlow. They came through and pretty much finished the exhaust all the way back. So all of our down pipe off the turbo, all that stuff is 4-inch. And then right about here, we actually had to drop from a 4-inch to a 3-inch to fit the Greddy catback.
Previously.
And so we dropped that off MagnaFlow. They took this flange off and then just finished the 4-inch all the way back, which is really good. This is really gonna open up the turbocharger, get air out of the engine at really high RPMs. It's gonna improve power and torque, which is really nice. Unfortunately, it has to come off to get the transmission out, so let's start ripping it out. So I think the downpipe's out of the way enough to where we can sneak the trans out. I think we should be okay. I don't imagine the sequential is going to be much bigger than the V160 is, but if we need to, it's not that hard to take out, so I'm not that worried about it. Our drive shaft is out, our exhaust system is off, disconnected our slip cylinder, so this is for the clutch pedal, is where your little clutch fluid comes through. I got our oil filter adapter off, that was bolted to the transmission. I need to get our shifter off next, and then nothing will be stopping us from pulling the transmission straight out. I've got 4 transmission bolts left, easy, and they're way back there. All the transmission hardware is out, our drive shaft is out, our shifter is out, our slave is off, everything's disconnected, so it's time to pull the transmission out. This is the last time this V160 will ever be in this Supra, as far as I know. Transmission is out, it's on the floor over there. We are going to be replacing the clutch with the new sequential gearbox, so we're not going to be needing this Clutch Masters twin disc anymore. So we're going to pull it out. It's going to go with the V160, it's going to stay over there. And when we get our new clutch pack, I believe we're getting a triple plate clutch to go on with our new transmission, so that'll go on right after. Our V160 transmission and Clutchmaster's twin disc is out of the car. We drug it over here to the parts pile. We're gonna be actually selling this as a parts package. If you guys are in the market for a V160 with a twin disc, email Evan at Throtl. Now, some of our parts are starting to roll in. Our transmission hasn't quite got here yet, but we'll pick up the camera when it does. While we're waiting for our sequential transmission to arrive, I want to talk to you guys about Sunoco. You know we love Sunoco in our shop here at Throtl. We use them in literally every single car, from the Supra to the Eclipse, the Skyline, the Civic, the Viper. We love it. Sunoco makes your car run cleaner, longer, and more efficiently, and Sunoco Ultratech has the same detergent levels as they run in NASCAR. If you guys want a nice, clean, good, top-tier certified fuel, head over to your local Sunoco station for a fill-up. Now let's go check out our transmission. We have our V160 drive shaft shifter and all the associated stuff out of our Supra. Our first batch of parts for our 6XD sequential transmission have shown up. We got it laid out on the table. The transmission itself hasn't shown up yet, but we do have a lot of work to do here on the table. So let's go over some of the parts that we're gonna be installing on this new sequential setup. To start, we have the bell housing, which is a really cool piece. This thing is insanely buff, insanely strong. It is set up for a 2JZ on the back and for our sequential on the front. This piece is cool. It's an SFI certified racing part. It is very thick, very heavy, and it is very durable. In the case that something like our flywheel explodes when we're doing, 130, 140 miles an hour, this will actually keep it contained, keep us protected, and prevent flywheel and all that stuff from blowing through the transmission tunnel and damaging anything, including us. So very nice component. It also has cutouts for our slave cylinder setup, which is one of the new Tilton parts that's going to be going in. So we are going to be having to do a lot of calculations on putting this thing in. So this actually goes up on the inside like this, but really neat setup, really cool part. So this does require a lot of calculation to set up. We're gonna have to align the bell housing to the block. We're gonna have to take measurements from this to the clutch plate. So there's a lot of math that goes into setting one of these things up, which is really cool. In addition to that, we have a little spacer plate for it, and of course, new hardware to bolt this thing to our 2JZ. We have a lightweight flywheel. This is about a 12-pound steel flywheel. Very nice. And then we have our Tilton triple plate clutch. This is a really small unit, and you start getting into multiple clutch packs, really beyond one or two, and it's cool that they can get really small. So this can handle more power and more torque than our twin plate could, which is a lot bigger. So really cool to see. We of course have sintered iron clutch discs. So these are 7-inch clutch discs, and there are 3 of them, which is pretty cool. A little bit of trick to set up. I've never set up a triple plate clutch before. I've done a couple of twin plate clutches. This setup is very different than what I'm used to, so it's gonna be cool to go through everything and just kind of see how it all works together. We of course have a new set of ARP flywheel bolts to go with it. I believe we have this kit already, but I think we're just gonna use these for peace of mind because they came with everything. So again, onto our slave cylinder, we have our fittings and all that stuff is gonna be going on with it. We have our hardware pack. We have a yoke for the drive shaft. Because we are running a Ford 9-inch rear end in this thing, the drive shaft measurements are all kind of up in the air. So they sent us a yoke. We're gonna have to spec this out and get a custom drive shaft, or at least get our drive shaft modified for the new yoke for the new transmission. So unfortunately, there wasn't really a plug and play solution for the drive shaft. And that's gonna be it. I think we have the throttle bearing here floating around somewhere on the table. Yeah, so this actually is meant for the back of the JZ crankshaft and uses a 15mm, which is actually a GM type clutch alignment and input shaft. So this is actually off of our C6 Z06 sweepstakes car that we did, and because they're using the same shaft setup as GM, it fits right in. So it was just happened to have a clutch alignment tool here that's gonna work, which is really cool. So that is everything that has shown up so far. We'll take a look at our new transmission when it shows up. The final piece of the puzzle has finally arrived, and that is the transmission itself. And this thing looks like a work of art. It is full billet casing, looks absolutely beautiful, and this is going to be plenty strong for what we're going to be using it for. This thing is going to not only handle the abuse, it's going to handle the hits, the hard shifting, the hard launching, all of it. We don't have to worry about this thing breaking at all, which is really cool. We have quite a few really cool features on this thing. We have AN pretty much all over the place. We have an oil pump on the back, which we have to make an AN line for, and we have an AN breather up front, which is really cool. The other thing is this transmission is fully serviceable. We could get whatever gearing we want for it. We can do literally whatever we want it, which is really nice. Versus something like the V160, if it were to break, you pretty much throw it away and buy a new one. This, we can take it apart if we break it somehow and fix everything, which is really cool. We also have the shifter here. This is gonna be going right up top, and this is what we're gonna be pulling, which is really cool. It looks nice, and I cannot wait to see this thing displayed in the center of the Supra's interior. It has a strain gauge gauge on it. We're gonna get into that with the management system we have for it. We also have a button up top. It's pretty much a lockout for neutral and reverse. So if you're going up or down a gear, you don't have to worry about hitting neutral or hitting reverse and spinning at the motor and over revving and all that stuff. So really cool unit. We also have a GCU, which is pretty much a transmission control computer for the Sequential, which is this guy here. We can do some really trick stuff with this, along with our Haltech Elite 2500 and the drive-by-wire setup we have on the car. So we're gonna actually be able to configure this for full flat foot shifting as well as rev match downshift. So when you get out of gear and you're in first gear and you wanna grab a gear, you don't have to move the pedal at all. You can stay wide open and just start slamming through the gears, which is really cool, which means our big G-Series Garrett will never get out of boost, and this thing is gonna run like a freaking missile. We have the iconic Sequential gear selector here. So this tells us what gear we're gonna be in, and I have a couple of good ideas on where we're gonna put this in the interior of the car. We do have a few delete panels in there, so this will display our gear that we're in, which is really nice. And this is gonna allow us to plug into our drive-by-wire pedal. So one end of this is gonna go into our wiring specialties harness. The other end is gonna go into our drive-by-wire pedal, and this is gonna allow this to set up the ignition cut, which is gonna allow us to have flat foot shifting on. So we do have quite a few other wires here. We're gonna send Will on that and get this thing hooked up and wired in and ready to rock. So we do have a program we need to configure that GCU with. Honestly, I can't wait to start playing with this stuff. In the next video, we're gonna get to start installing everything we have for this setup, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So you guys are gonna have to hold out to that. Leave a comment down below on what you think of our new transmission setup for the Mk4 Supra.
All right, now it is time to do the deliberation for Throttle Dream Build 5. Everyone has put in their 2 cents. Everyone's gone through the list of all the submissions, and now is when we sit down and we go through everything together as a group and come up with the single winner for the next Dream Build contest. So I'm very excited. I've seen a couple of them, a couple weird choices, but we'll see what everyone thinks. This is what we have for our finalists. We have an SRT4, an F-150 Raptor, Crown Vic, SVT Lightning, 2 Preludes, S2000, Hyundai Veloster, Infiniti G35, Lexus SC300, Mazda Speed 3, Mazda Speed 6. Look at Will right now. Nissan 240SX, and then a Toyota Aristo. Those are the finalists right now. Prelude. Ooh. Prelude. 3. Oh. Prelude. 4. Prelude.
Wow.
That is majority. Keep going, keep going.
SC300, Prelude, and S2K. Prelude's the winner.
Damn, by a lot.
Wow, I was not expecting it to be like 95%. The winner of Throttle Dream Build 5 is Shelby Wilkerson out of Florida.
Woo! Florida.
Now it's time to call Shelby, the winner of Throttle VIP Dream Build 5. All right, here we go. From the Throttle account.
On Instagram?
On Instagram. You guys are not, my arm is not long enough.
You do the 0.5, dude.
I don't have 0.5 on this camera.
Oh, it's ringing.
Oh, we look the same, man. Get over there. Yeah, there you go.
She didn't get an answer?
Oh, Will's gone, dude.
Hey.
Who's that? Oh, no answer.
We're setting a recall.
Recall. We're recalled right now.
All right, recall.
Recalling. Stand right next to me.
It's a little awkward when she doesn't answer this one. Oh, come on.
Oh, it's 7 o'clock. She's at work.
Oh, she's probably at work.
No, dude, it's 7 o'clock. People work sometimes past 7 there, buddy.
Oh, hello?
Hi.
Hi, is this Shelby? Hold on, hold on.
Hello.
How's it going?
I just got my
Hey.
wisdom teeth out yesterday.
Oh. Well, we have some good news for you. You ready for it? You're sitting down already.
My heart's racing.
Hey, buddy.
So we selected your 5th gen Prelude for the next Throttle Dream Build project. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's a good reaction right there.
Congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome.
Painkillers, don't worry.
Yeah. So you guys are in Florida, right?
Yes, we are.
All right.
Not for long.
With a car. Yeah, so congratulations. After this call, we'll reach out, get the car shipped out here. We'll work together on what parts, what colors, what things you guys like, don't like, and we are going to transform your car, and the next time you see it after that, it's gonna be a whole new thing.
You okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
You're welcome. Do you have any questions for us right off the bat? I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions, so don't worry.
I'm taking it all in.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just entered just to do it, and I never would have expected. Like,
Well, it worked.
It worked. No, we appreciate you being a throtlVIP member. We all took a liking to the car, thought it had a lot of potential, and thought that we could help transform it for you. So congratulations again. And we'll be on the phone real soon figuring out all the details.
okay.
All right. All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's it for Throttle Dream Build 5. If you guys like this video, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.